All right. So we have made quite a bit of progress on the Z car. I've got these right where I want them. I'm real happy with them. They feel good, look good. They're there. The roof's right where I want it. Real minimal material up here, which is A+. All these pillars, we got the 2 angles or 3 angles back in them, so I'm real happy with that. But these doors, I'm addressing the doors right now, and then I'm gonna be getting into these quarter panels. So with these doors, I started getting into them, and we can kind of see right up here, that's a low spot. This whole door edge is a low spot. We've got a few little dingers, one there, little wavy here that I'm addressing. We can kind of see that. So this whole car has been skim coated, and the only reason I know that is because right here, that is Bondo. When I got into it down here, there was Bondo. Kind of everywhere I've got into the car, there's been just a nice, real thin skim coat of Bondo. We did a magnet test on the car, and actually the magnet stuck throughout the whole thing, so super stoked on that. But this door over here, ooftas. We've got a dinger, wavy, a high spot. So this door is in pretty rough shape so far. Like I said, I think it is all skim coated, so I'm just gonna keep blocking this thing out, hoping I get down to where the skim coat was, and then I should be able to use it as my guide, and then prime what I need to, build it back up, and we should be okay there. So that's kind of what we're working on the Z car here. It's been quite a bit. I just got to come through, clean up some of my weld marks yet. I still got to clean up this front edge, do a couple little more tacks, clean up the edge a little bit, and then this roof will be ready for primer. I am going to put a little skim coat of some seam sealer down in those rails, sand them out, and kind of go from there. So that's what I'm going to be working on this thing. We'll catch y'all hopefully when I got this thing about straight and all sanded, and kind of when we're getting it ready for primer. So there's a Z update for you. All right, so we got a lot going on. I'm working on this one, working on this one. We molded the skirt on, letting the panel bond dry. We got the wife wiping down the roof. We just did the rust treatment. She says it smells like burning hair. So all you ladies watching, if you've ever used it, you could relate. Very stinky, nasty stuff. So she's getting that. So I do have to prime from here, the whole roof. So I'm at the point I might as well just prime the rest of the car. I do it on all of them, so might as well do it on this one too. It's getting just to be at that point. So I think we're just gonna rough this thing up with like some 120, block it out with some 120, and then prime the whole car, get it taped up, ready for some primer. So that's what you guys will be seeing. That's where we're at on it. I gotta weld the antenna hole shut, so I'm gonna probably knock that out real quick. Other than that, all my welding is done. I got these plates welded in. Not bad welds for myself, I would say. Overall, pretty happy with them. Put a little skim coat on those, get this thing in there. Whew. Plucking along. I can't wait to have this car done. So it's gonna be really exciting. Hope you guys are excited for it. Stay tuned for it. This one might even come out in one video. Don't hold me to it, it'll probably be like 7 videos, but we're trying for one on it. Did get the roof skim coated. This is a real thin layer here. I do have a few spots that I need to address yet. These couple were high, so I hammered and dollied them, and now they're feeling pretty good. So I'm gonna address those after the primer. I had a little spot right here, worked on it. It seemed to go all right. And then as we can see, this kind of appears to be a high spot here, and kind of one over there. So I just kind of really wanna get this thing set in primer, and then I can go from there. And then also primer will keep any of this from rusting any further than the elements. It's only gonna be in primer for a couple days, no big deal there. We got a little bit of a low spot here, address that one. This roof was in really good shape, but it definitely needed the skim coat there. I've got the FRS all in there bagged up. We've been doing quite a bit of work on it. Getting this skirt all kind of sorted out here. The roof, or the hood, excuse me, hood not roof, was an absolute mess, so we're doing the best we can there. Woo! So that one's gonna require another primer. I'm gonna do that with this Z car, and then we've got this trunk here for the FRS as well. It's going along pretty well. James's Mustang hood, some of Kiko's parts. So that's what I know what's going on with this Nissan here. I'm gonna go ahead, prime all this. We did run into a few little rust spots as well in here. I've got them dug out. We've got the same over here. These ones are a little worse. We did get them treated with our rust treatment, so that is all good to go there. But let's dive into getting some primer on this thing and then block it out. Hopefully get it ready for paint here before long. So a little bit more than what I was expecting it to be, but that's the usual around here. So into primer. There it is. First pass of pink primer. Pretty dang good coverage. I got the whole car covered here. So I used my stat gun, blew it all off first, wiped it down real good, and then shot my primer. So I really haven't picked up any dirt in it. It is definitely showing me a few little things that I need to address. I primed all of this first, all the channels, all that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and seam seal them, and then go ahead and sand my seam sealers. So it is all covered. We can kind of see some of our dents much better now. I think this might be a little bit of a high spot, but definitely got everything addressed much better. These here, this smoothed out pretty good. I am gonna go ahead and give this thing one more good solid coat of primer there, just to make sure I got it right where I want it. So now when I block it out, it'll definitely show me if I got any little lows, anything funky. So that's the only reason I'm doing this, is I just, like I said, could not determine if that was gonna bite me in the rear end later on. So that's the only reason for the primer now. I'll hopefully block 90% of it off here, but that's what we're doing with it. Let's get the second pass on and call it a night. I'm gonna show you guys how to take this glass out. This is a mid-70s, I think, give or take, Z car. All the hatch glass should be the same. As you guys can see right here, I've popped all the chrome out of the seals. It's really easy to do. It's just slid down in those grooves like so. So if you can get it started, just kind of wiggle it, pop it up. I ran my finger all the way around the bottom side, popped it all out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, no issues there. Luckily for us, we have a new seal for this. This gentleman went ballin' on the seals.
Every single seal you can imagine.
Every last one of them. All of them. He's got all the seals, which just makes it glorious for us. So this is just like a Chevy with glass, like pulling the back glass out of that, front glass out of that, back or front glass out of that, back or front glass out of that. Super simple if you've done Chevys. If you haven't done Chevys, could be a little tricky, still not bad. If I didn't have a new seal, it would definitely make this a little bit trickier. Since I have a new seal, it's gonna make it really easy. I'm just gonna cut it out, put the new one in. When I put the new one in, I'll definitely show you guys that. You just put a string around the backside, set the glass, pull it, bam, glass is in. So we're actually gonna tip this thing up, and then cut the seal and pull this glass out. So let's dive into that. So now I'll have the wife work on getting this lockout, And then we're going to mold this spoiler on. I don't do them traditionally like everybody else, I would say. A lot of people take and build it up here and then feather it out to here, and then that would make a high edge, feather it down. I just build mine out a little bit, so it's not gonna be like a swoop down. It's just gonna kind of come down and stop. The FRS, I don't know if I did a video on it or not, but kind of explain it, show it there, and I'll explain it and show it to you guys on this one as well. The back here will panel bond, sand down, make it seamless. I'll actually panel bond this whole thing on. I think it's just 3M taped right now if I had to guess. But everything's out. I'm gonna get back to blocking this thing. I got a little bit of work to do on the roof. It, you know, we put it in, it was media blasted, so it was pitted pretty good. I sanded it primed it really good, so now I'm just gonna go in, sand the crap out of it, get these doors finished up, so on and so forth. We'll catch y'all hopefully when this car's sanded. That would be nice. All right, y'all, so we're trying to get this thing ready, and we found this patch that was there, and it had all this rust, and we had a big old, oh, it's right here, I found it. Look at this. That's all Bondo. That was crammed up in here, like that, made up that piece. No bueno. No wonder this thing rusted out. So now I'm gonna have Mahoney make a new patch, and we're gonna get it in there. Oh, do a little spray painting in that, get it all treated, I guess you could say, so it doesn't keep rusting through. This backside's pretty bad here too, so I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with that one yet, but we'll get it addressed. I wish we could just get this whole little piece here, but we can't, so we will make one. Other than that, we got all the roof good to go, and I'm working on these fenders now. I just pulled the stud gun out, started pulling a little bit here. We had a little funky guy there, so I wanted to get it addressed, pulled. I'm gonna sand it down a little bit, skim coat it, see where it's at. We've got the hatch all sanded. The wife's been going crazy on this. Mahoney and I are gonna get ready to mold this spoiler onto it there, so that's coming up. James got his hood all sanded, but we are just plucking along on the Z car. It'll be ready here real shortly. Next clips will be in the paint booth, or at least close to being in the paint booth. So I'm gonna finish these up and then get it in the booth there. We got a little rust back here on both sides we got to take care of. No big deal. Let's get to it. All right, here's a fun little tip for y'all. Not even a tip, just a little fun fact. See all these little spots? Those are all air bubbles. Oh, I should have grabbed something better, but figured this would work. Big old crater underneath. Crater, crater. This is gonna be a good one. All right, so that is what happens when you mix your mud too thick. It creates air bubbles, and then you just over them and go over them and go over them. And I discovered a patch panel in this, and it is ugly. So I'm gonna finish stripping it. It's a nightmare. There's so much dust, but once it's stripped, you guys won't be seeing me in the paint booth. Discovering little things, just keep finding them here and there, but I'm gonna strip this, see what I'm working with, get with y'all. Quick little Z car update. I flew Stephanie down this weekend to paint this thing for me, and here it sits. We ran into a lot more problems. So I don't know if I showed you guys or not. This fender here had that big old gnarly patch panel put in the backside, and it revealed that. Yuck. So got with the customer, having him address that for us, looking to getting us a new fender. But I'm gonna roll this creeper over here, show you guys what I found. All right. If we go down underneath here, we got all this gnarly rust. They didn't treat the backside, but all that rust. That means that's got a rear section of that quarter welded into it. No bueno. If we look down here, this guy is really fat. So we were kind of looking at it, like not thinking much about it. And then we got to looking at this body line, and it is super, super far off. Not liking that. So I'm gonna dig this out, clean up some rust up there, dig this out, see what it gives us. Other than that, the Z-car is going really good. We got the roof all in it, all straight, looking really good there. Pretty clean otherwise. It's a gorgeous car. This side we've got a little bit of work to do. It's not nearly as bad there. It's a little bit funky back here. And then dig these rockers out and see how bad they are. Hopefully they're not bad, but only time will tell. So let's dig all this out, see where it takes us. All right, so Mahoney just finished up making a mess here. We got all these out. We got this one out. Whew, that's original. They just put one on over, bondoed it up, called it a day, filled it with goop.
That's A1 bodywork right there. A1 bodywork.
A1, baby. A1. So, us being the way we are, I called the customer and was like, hey, can you get me some patch panels for this thing? And he said, by golly, they make patch panels. Look how easy this is gonna be. Take and put the patch panel on like so, weld it in, voila, flush panel. So this one's got a patch panel, that one's got a patch panel, and we've got another patch panel for the fender. So much easier, I tell you guys. Why try to make one when you can buy them already direct fitted? This was the panel that was on. I get it, I've made panels myself, don't get me wrong. But when you can get a patch panel, less than $200 for all of them, go that route. I know the customer didn't mind buying them. Not a big deal to get them. So we got patch panels for this thing. Mahoney and I are gonna get them all final cleaned up, start throwing those things in tomorrow. We made some headway on the 11 today. It was a really good day. Mahoney got the driver's side rocker cut out of the 66, so we've been plucking away. But this dang thing here, I tell you, it's the gift that keeps giving, just like the rest of them. But it's gonna be better than ever once we get it out of here. So let's get into welding these things in, cutting them up, fitting them, and kind of going from there, see what it leads into. All right, so I'm working on cutting this panel out here. And I just kind of wanted to show you guys, I guess right over here, that is the piece that I cut out that runs right here. If we look at it, well, it just broke off, but you guys seen there's two pieces, and we've got this piece. It fits perfect. You can see where it was welded right there. That is how they did their patch on this thing. That is not how I like to do them. Like I said, I like to butt weld everything up. So what I'm doing right now is working on getting the rest of this patch out. The way I'm trying to do this one, because I had it welded so far up on the quarter, is just grind the edge of this lapped over piece. If we look, we still got metal right here. Nice metal, it looks like. So if that's still all good and dandy, what I will end up doing is just using all that metal behind that and getting this piece off and then working from there. So I made my cut. I'm happy with it, I think. All right, whew. Little tricky one-handed. I was holding the camera in the other hand. All right, so if we look here, we see we've got a good quarter. I need to clean up this little bit, clean up some of the welds of hair, clean that edge off, but I've got a good panel. So now if I take this one, set it up there, I have a nice butt weld all the way so far. Looks pretty dang good. That butts up to that real nice. like I said, I got a little cleaning. So we'll clean up that edge. That'll let that come back like that. Bring that up. Just like so. I started the roll on my patch for the passenger side. I thought it was just a little patch that was gonna be pretty easy, so I didn't have the customer order me one. I was like, I can make that real quick like, but it turned out to be a pretty good sized one here. Let me close this door up, bam. All right, so that's what we're working with over here. I've got the curvature down, so the curve of it continues and looks good. I'm happy with that. Now I just got to roll it a little bit more on this edge, get a little bit more curve in it. That'll go there. And then I just have to cut this one out a little bit more. This is the factory quarter here, and it's just tinny. So this patch is gonna go somewhere in there. And then I will roll these two edges after I kind of get it right where I want it and get this one all cleaned up. I'll roll those edges, put this thing in, and then all my patches on the car will be in. And then I have got a big old patch for this fender. As we've seen, it was a mess. That is an absolute mess under there. So we went ahead, went with that. I'm gonna cut it in and we will go from there. That one should be pretty easy. That replaces the whole bottom. Bada bing, bada boom. Too easy. So that's the update on the Z car. I am going to, like I said, get back to getting this one in. I got this one right where I want it. Got it all grinded down, shaved, feels really good. I got a little bit of a dent right here. I don't know if that came from the panel, if it was in the panel or what, but I'll put the stud gut on it, pull it around a little bit. No big worries. Grind these few down here, seam seal it there, but man, that's a really smooth seam. If you guys can see that, there's little to no grab. I mean, it grabs, but little to no. Got the back all plugged, cruising right along on this thing. Hopefully we can get all these taken care of and then get it in the booth and get it painted. So sorry this thing's taking so long. We thought she was gonna be quick and easy, but definitely not the case on this one. So let's dive back into getting these patches in there. We have made some serious headway on this thing. It's been a headache. This thing was supposed to be out of here a month ago. I've been working on it non-stop, day in, day out, it seems like, along with all the other projects, to get it to where it's at. But it's finally ready for probably its second to last primer. We got these all taken care of. I still gotta grind these down. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot all about them, but I already got this thing into the booth, so I am going to prime that. Then I'll grind those down, reprime that area. No big deal there. So we've got that one ready. This corner has come out very, very nice. It's taken a lot of shaping, a lot of work, a lot of work. We welded that panel in. A lot of work that we did not anticipate there, but it is done. This one here, same thing. It's looking really good. I did remember to grind those ones down, however, so this side will be ready. This will most likely be its very last primer here. I've got some side skirts in that need adhesion promoted and then primed. Same there. I've got the fender here for it. And then I've been working tirelessly on this thing, getting it all molded. So if the camera will pick it up, that's all molded there. And then we've got the backside all molded as well. I'm gonna get some primer on this stuff, then I'll catch y'all whenever I catch you again. I don't know if I'll film any blocking, because after I prime it, I'm gonna have to guide coat it and block it. And then what I think I'm gonna do is just prime the whole entire car again, block the whole entire car, and then see where I'm at with it. Make sure it is arrow straight. I want this thing as straight as it can possibly be. No little imperfections, no little hiccups, no bumps, no nothing. I need this thing silky smooth. So that's the plan here. I am working on the Audi rims. They came in, that'll be on a different video. Mercedes is all painted up. Busy day. Let's dive into that thing. Catch y'all when it's primed.